Hello everyone, welcome to the video. So today we're going to be discussing a conversation around Jay-Z's hair. Jay-Z's back in the news, so you know what that means. That means Freeform Locs are back in the news. I've been reading stuff on various profiles or various platforms, and I've read it all. I've read a lot of a lot of stuff from his hair looks like it smells. Uh, does he have a wig on? I wish I can cut his hair. Just his overall features. I've seen people saying that people who don't like his hair or those types of locks specifically come off as anti-black. Now, before I go on with the whole anti-black thing, I want to get it out the way that yes, other people, other races of people have freeform locks, right? But people are referring to it. They're speaking on other black people not liking certain black features or certain types of hair specifically, right? So and that's been the conversation around the whole Jay-Z stuff. Now, I don't know if I can go that far personally of calling him anti-black, but I can see how people can reach that conclusion because some of these things that people say, some of the mean things that people say concerning his hair specifically, and just other people's freeform locks specifically on social media, may lead a person to believe that because it's just so mean and you know out of pocket that it's like, man, are you anti-black? I think what it is that people have a way that they feel like, for the collective. Actually, reading this book called Hive Minds, and it talks about a lot about social media. It also talks about just how people come to a consensus thought, and they believe that consensus thought, even though they're not. They don't. Even though they're not. They don't know why they believe that consensus thought. It's just how it is. They don't really go looking for it, look into it for themselves. So, and I say that to say that, people feel like, okay, you should have a haircut, you should dress like this, you should talk like this, you should live like this, you should have this, and you should have that. And if you don't have that, you're outside of the norm. I think that people just feel like even if you have locks, then you should have neat, tidy locks that's sectioned off in parts, and they should look a certain way. That's the consensus thought. So when someone has locks like this, they're not in the consensus thought, and it's like, well, something must be wrong with them. And that's where all of the stereotypes and all of the ignorance comes in, where you look homeless, you look like you smell, you look like you don't take care of yourself, and it's because you're not of the consensus thought, as far as that goes. So I think I think I attribute it more to that than them being anti-black. They just feel like this is how it should be. Um, but reading the comments, I was like, man, when you just can't, and I see a lot of people going back and forth with other people. When you see comments like that, man, I've been on YouTube for long enough. I've been growing my hair long enough where I've gotten good comments and I've gotten bad comments, right? Um, I just it doesn't bother me because yeah, you when you grow your hair like this, you have to understand that everybody's not gonna like it. Everybody's not gonna like it, and I think most of us know that going forward, that people are not gonna like it. You're gonna get your bad comments. It's just part of the game, especially when you're making YouTube videos or you put yourself out on any type of social media platform. Now that opens you up to people coming, being able to come under your comments and say what they want to say. Um, but I've gotten used to it. Like I get every once in a while. I don't get too many bad comments, but every once in a while, somebody will come and say something mean, and I don't block them or any go back and forth with them. Man, it's just because I understand that on social media, a lot of people say stuff that they wouldn't say to you in person. And that's not to make myself seem like a tough guy or anything like that or a confrontational. It's just that it has become part of people's nature. Um, when you're on social media, you get to say stuff to people that you probably would feel like, well, if I said that to them in person, that would be mean, and I probably shouldn't voice that in person. But social media breaks that barrier down, so people can come to your platform or come to your picture and say these things about you. They don't really care how it makes you feel. They just want to get their comment off. So I've learned over the years being on social media, having a YouTube channel, that it comes with the territory. Now, that's not to say that you should let people disrespect you or let people call you names. No, you should not allow disrespect regardless of what you got going on with, like, you should not allow anybody to disrespect you. But I understand that people are gonna come by, they're not gonna like it, they're gonna say mean things. I choose to just ignore it. I don't give those people any energy. Just as well as reading these comments surrounding Jay-Z's hair. I don't give it any. You know what I mean? Like, it's people are gonna, because you can't stop it. You know, you can just only thing you can do is, if you're gonna grow your hair like this, or you like it, or you like people who grow their hair like this, just like it. You know, because you can't stop people from you're gonna be putting a lot of energy into stopping people or trying to stop people, going back and forth with people on social media, arguing about, you know, this. That's why when I started this channel, when I started actually articulating myself on the channel, one of my main goals was not to get people to like Freeform Locs. I know people are not gonna like it. I know people are gonna come on my channel and say mean stuff. It just comes with the territory. What I try to do, I try my best to do, is give people more information. Now, with that information, if you still don't like it, cool. You know, if you say, hey, you know what? That's some good information. I actually like his hair. That's cool as well. But either way, you leave with correct information. I mean, what is that correct information? Well, I do wash my hair. My hair doesn't smell. You know, I'm not saying that there is every person who has locks like this is washing their hair properly, um, that their hair doesn't smell. But that's really with any types of locks, if you don't care for it properly. Any types of hair, period, you know. But these types of dreadlocks tend to get the bad rep for being dirty, you know. So that's always been my main goal. Is never to get anybody to like it. I can't make you like something. I just give you the information, and then you know, after you, if you watch the channel, then you leave and do with that what you will. So it's never been to make anybody like it. It's never gonna happen, you know. If a person, a lot of people are dead set on, I just don't like his hair like that, and that's it. And they don't want to know any if they wash it, how they care for it. All they want, all they know is what they see. His hair, his or her hair looks different from what I'm usually seeing. Therefore, their hair must be dirty or something must be wrong with them. And that's all they want in their minds. They don't want to be convinced otherwise. So with that, you know, you just have to understand that and, you know, move accordingly. You know, when I'm out, I usually, you know, people actually lately, man, lately people have been stopping me every time I go to the store or something. You know, they ask about my hair, ask me if I'm from Jamaica, and tell them no, I'm not from Jamaica. And so, but those are usually the kind of questions that I get. Um, but you know, the conversation surrounding Jay-Z's hair is always interesting. Um, but I think that because there's so much conversation surrounding his hair, it opens up the conversation for Freeform Locs. You know, a lot of people don't. As crazy as it sounds, a lot of people still don't know what Freeform Locs are, or how you know how and why people even want to grow their hair like that. You know, so Jay-Z has done a lot for, unknowingly probably, a lot for the Freeform Loc game. Because then there's a conversation to be had around it. You know, people like me get to make videos off of it, but there's still a lot of people that are ignorant on it. Again, most of those people, they don't want to be they don't want to be, you know, convinced otherwise. Again, all they want to know, all they want to think is what they think already. So they don't want to be convinced that there's a reason for it, or that someone actually cleans their hair who has dreadlocks like this. That's no matter to them. So, but it does open up the conversation of um, why these types of dreadlocks are so polarizing, why people don't like them so much, to where they see somebody and they're like, yo, I want to cut their hair off, and I want to, and oh, that person looks dirty. I think most times people who have dreadlocks like this, we know that people are not gonna like it. We already know that. I think what gets to people is that if I post a picture, or I'm making a YouTube video, or somebody else shares my picture on their platform, I think what gets to people is the people who come under there and they have to say something. That's why I said these locks are so polarizing, because people have to say something. You don't often see, at least I've never seen it, but you don't see people with locks like this going under people with twisted locks pictures. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I'm not saying it doesn't happen in the history of mankind, but usually you don't see us going under their pictures and saying, man, your hair, man, yes, I wish I can, I wish you didn't have it like that, or you look like such and such because your hair is like this. But when people see these types of dreadlocks, it just strikes something in them so bad that they are compelled to give you a mean comment. That's why these locks are just so, there's so much conversation around them, especially when a celebrity does it. I think for Jay-Z specifically is because people were used to seeing him, you always seeing Jay-Z with the haircut. So now that this is totally his, totally opposite of what they've been seeing, they're wondering why. Why would you let your hair get like that? And like, what's going on with you? And so all of these conversations get opened up because people just have to say something. And again, I think that most people, they don't mind it. They don't mind that you don't like it. It's just that if you come under my picture and say that I'm dirty, or that I look dirty, or that uh, how would I get a job? How I don't have a job? Like, so then people, it's like, man, I'm just minding my business. Why did you have to come and say that? Like, if you just don't like it, then that's cool. But the fact that you even have to say in voice or type that you don't like it, says a lot, because it just strikes something in people so badly that they have to do it. They just can't say, and I'm not saying all people, but a lot of people, they just can't say, I'm gonna scroll. I don't like that. That ain't my cup of tea. I'm gonna scroll past that. They have to say something. They have to, and not only do they have to say something, they have to leave you a mean comment. They have to let you know how disgusted I am by it. So I think that's what gets to most people who have their hair like this. It's just like, man, I'm just minding my business. Jay-Z don't even know most of these people even exist. Yet there's these mean comments, there's the jokes and all that stuff. And I always wonder, when stuff like this happens as well, where is that line? When do people decide to draw that line between, um, if there's one celebrity and then people are making fun of him or her, that person, those same people will say, well, they will defend that person. But for others, such as Jay-Z, it's like it's open season on him all the time. It's open season on his looks, on his hair, his natural hair. It's open season on his features. And so, and I notice with other people that if that were said, then you will be called all kind of anti, or whatever other names, labels you have, you that people, will call you for not agreeing with someone's look or how they're conducting themselves, right? So I always wonder where that line is and how people choose to draw that line, so, but that's the conversation that's been going on around, about Jay-Z's hair. And it's always, every time he, is out in the public eye, people have this disdain for his hair. But I do feel like it's not a good thing that they have the disdain for his hair, but I do think that it's a good thing that he's highlighting the freeform loc culture unknowingly. And I know that Bob Marley did it. I know, people may say J. Cole and there's been various other people, I'm not saying that he's the like main or only person, but like right now in 2023 modern day, there's been the Weeknd as well. People of the, people like that have also, opened the conversation up about these types of dreadlocks. So it just gives you the insight on how people think, because if you hate his hair that much, so when I'm out in public and you happen to run into these same people, because they're everywhere, right? What do you think of me? Like, what if you were in a hiring position and I came and like, I would automatically not get that job because that person has a disdain for my hair or for my look. You feel what I'm saying? So that's always the interesting thing about that for me. So that's all I have for this video. Please feel free to leave your comments and let me know what you think about this conversation surrounding Jay-Z's hair. Thanks for watching this video as usual.